Hey guys, my name is Dustin, and I just wanted to share with you guys my testimony. I wanted you to get to know me a little bit better, and I hope that God will just maybe reveal to you something and just speak to you. And I just pray that maybe if you don't believe in God or you don't necessarily understand who God is, I pray that my words would just be an encouragement to give Him a chance, to just soften your heart and listen to what He has to say. Pick up a Bible and read the Word. But I hope that you get a blessing out of this, and just thank you for watching. Normally I wear glasses, so if I look like I'm angry at you or just squinting, it's because I'm not wearing these bad boys. It's giving me a headache. I had the privilege to go to North Greenville University last semester, a couple of months ago, and there was a chapel that we had about 4 weeks in to North Greenville. I had no idea how I was going to get to North Greenville. As far as monies and things like that, I had no idea. With some help from some people from church, they were able to help me raise a little bit of money, and somehow I was able to go by God's grace, by God's design, and His plan. And He definitely had a plan. Boy, did He have a plan. Clayton King was teaching a Wednesday. He's preaching straight from John, chapter 8. It's something I've heard my whole life, but I never really had understood it the way that I did that day. I was in section 500, row V, seat 10. I remember, and this is what he was preaching on. John chapter 8, starting with verse 1. It says, Jesus went across to Mount of Olives, but He was soon back in the temple again. Swarms of people came to Him. He sat down and taught them. The religious scholars and Pharisees led in a woman who had been caught in the act of adultery. They stood her in plain sight of everyone and said, Teacher, this woman was caught red-handed in the act of adultery. Moses in the law gives orders to stone such persons. What do you say? They were trying to trap Him into saying something incriminating so that they could bring charges against Him. Jesus bent down and wrote with his finger in the dirt. They kept at him, though, badgering him. He straightened up and said, The sinless one among you, go first, throw the stone. Bending down again, he wrote some more in the dirt. Hearing that, they walked away, one after another, beginning with the oldest. The woman was left alone with Jesus. Jesus stood up and spoke to her. Woman, where are they? Does no one condemn you? No one, Master. Neither do I, Jesus said. Go on your way, and from now on, don't sin. Clayton was just preaching on the Pharisees and more of their aspect and their view of things. And I tell you, I've never had anyone speak to me and speak the message like he did that day, and I've never ever felt God speak to me the way that he did. For 20 years, I had not gotten it right. I didn't understand. I was one of those Pharisees, and I was just a religious person. I had everybody fooled into thinking that I was saved and that I was right. When I was 8, I got baptized, and I went down there and I said a prayer that I really had no idea what I was saying, but I did it because everybody else was, and I was kind of scared into it with the hell part of things, but I never got that relationship right, and it took me 20 years to get there. I was born in Greenwood rather, and I grew up in in Honey Path. I'd never been to Greenwood ever. I don't think I've ever been to Greenwood, but I was born there. I grew up in Honey Path and Seneca. My grandparents lived in Seneca, so I would go back and forth. Um, I grew up in church, like I said. When I was around 10 or 11, my mom and my dad they were separated. We moved up here. They were divorced. That was tough for me. And then in 2001, my grandpa, probably the only influence of a man I had in my life, passed away. He had been fighting with a lot of things from the Vietnam War. He was a veteran. He taught me a lot of things that I still carry today, down in there in my heart, and in my mind, as far as being a man and how a man's supposed to act. He taught the truth. He taught me how to love God first and then love others. That was hard. That was devastating to me. But I had a really awesome family that helped me through that. My grandma was probably the strongest through that. She's a Billy Graham of the family. She's very strong in the faith. My mom was diagnosed with cancer, colon cancer, not too long after that. She fought hard. There was a point in time when she had cancer when she was very close to her last breath. But thank God, by the grace of God, He gave her some more. She's been cancer free for 5-6 years, probably more than that. I don't know. It's been a while, and that's good. He's definitely been at work around me for a long time. I struggled with so many things, with just depression and different problems that I had on the inside. I have always struggled with lust. That's been a big one for me, just like any other male. Some greater than others. I've struggled with just trying to contain those thoughts and just those things. It's so hard. But I tell you, up until about 3 or 4 months ago, I had no idea what I was doing, what God was even trying to say to me. I didn't even really feel that He was speaking to me, and I understand why now. It's because God doesn't speak to those who do not know Him, and I didn't know Him. He hears the sinner's prayer. He does hear that, and so that Wednesday at chapel when He spoke to me, just it really got a hold of me, and showed me that I was just religious, and I was condemning people, and I was judging people, and I wasn't focused on who God really was, and that He was in the saving business, and that He was in the love business, and He really has changed me. He's changed my attitude on life. He's given me so many awesome people in my life that have helped me along with that. One of those people just happened to be my best friend and my girlfriend. She is the best ever, Elizabeth Neal. She has shown me so much. She's shown me patience. She's helped me grow. She's definitely shown me how to love and how to respect. And I had the privilege of getting to talk with her about my life. This was while we were at North Greenville, about a week after I had been saved and God had done work in me. We were in Traveler's Rest, the Walmart parking lot. She had been going through a lot of different things and a lot of just confusion. The devil was definitely trying to hurt her and trying to pull her down, but God just spoke through me. He allowed me to share with her what I'm sharing with you now, and how I felt prior to that, and I was able to talk with her and lead her to Christ right there. And it was she prayed her own prayer, but it was so precious to me to just be able to bond with her together with God, and just to just share with her what God's done for me. And she grew up like me. She knew who God was, and she grew up in church. Her mom was always kept her in church. Mom's a sweet lady, and and loves God herself. But there comes that time when God reveals to us that we didn't. And I'm just so thankful that God never gave up on me, and I'm so thankful that He still doesn't. Um, I fail Him all the time, it seems, but He's definitely strengthened me. He's growing me in the faith. God is real, and I know He's real because I feel Him, and I have faith in Him, and I trust in Him. Most of Christianity and believing in God is a relationship, and it's having that faith. We can't see God, but Jesus was God in flesh, and He walked the earth, and people still didn't believe. But He didn't send Jesus just for us to see. God sent His only Son, Jesus, that He would take all of our sins, and He would die on a cross for us, to be that final sacrifice for all, that we would have eternal life with Him, and that we could live a life of joy and peace, knowing that we could spend eternity with God, because there is a hell. Just like any judge, if you are guilty of any crime, it doesn't matter if you're a good person, or if you're you've done a good deed. If you committed a crime, a murder, or anything like that, lied, cheated, stealed, anything, then you have to pay the price. And just like any good judge, God will judge us all one day. And if we do not have that belief in Jesus, and we don't have Jesus on our side, to step in and say, hey, I will take that price for them, and they're with me, so you let them go free. If we don't have that, then God has no choice but, as a just God and as a just judge, to punish you for that crime and for that. But it's for all eternity. But He loves you that much that He would send His Son so that you would have a way. It's a free gift. Why would a loving and merciful God create such a place called hell? Why would anyone reject such a loving and merciful God? He has everything, but He wants you. He wants you. And I just pray that you would accept Him, and that if you need to talk to somebody about it, or you're just curious, you want to ask questions, you can message me on Facebook. You can talk to somebody, talk to a pastor or anybody, whoever it may be. But I just pray that God would just speak to you, and that you would allow Him to speak to you. I love you, and thank you for watching. God bless.